off the back of some amazing training with a real estate agent negotiator. It was so interesting. There's so much to renovating that we don't even think about. And, you know, I often just speak to people and they just think, oh, you know, I've got a handle on it. I've renovated a house, so I know what I'm doing and I don't need any training. And I find that really interesting because it's continual learning, and it's continual learning over 5, 10, 15 or 20 years quite often. These little learning sessions that I do live every Tuesday are, number one, to serve you guys. You all deserve to get information at your fingertips, and the right kind of information. There's so much crazy stuff out there online. It's like a bunch of cowboys, you know, like it is nuts. So I really try and deliver true information that will make a difference to you and your business if you wish to start renovating more seriously. A lot of people just like to do one house, and that's totally fine, but also a lot of people want to quit their day jobs and jump into this, and there's more moving parts than anybody imagines. So let's go through it a little bit. Firstly, starting a business in renovating is for anyone who wants to turn ugly homes into pretty ones for a living. Like, if that would bring you joy rather than go to work for somebody else, if you're earning chunks of cash, 50, 80, 100, 150,000, whatever, you only need to do one of those a year to replace your income in most people's circumstances, right? So some people really want to make the leap into doing this for a living, and I'm always happy to support that process. If you'd like to be in control of what you do each and every day and not have somebody else determine what your day looks like. And so you can do as much or as little as you like. Like, you're in charge of how much you earn. You're in charge of how busy you are. You're in charge of the hours you work. When it's on, it's on. You have to pay attention. And you also have to pay attention to like what's happening on site. You might either be on the phone or you might be on site. But when you start to get a really good team together, then you get to leverage your time. And like, there's more involved in just saying, hey, I'm going to quit my job and start this. But the truth is, once you get it going, oh my goodness, you know, it is a game changer. That's why you hear so many people doing this for a living. If you want to earn a living from renovating homes that you don't own, that is 100% possible. 100% possible. A lot of my guys do that. So, you know, it's a myth to say that you have to have a lot of money to invest in a property, then you have to have money or borrowing power to go and renovate that property. That's a myth, guys. Do not let it stop you or hold you back. You just need to know how to do it and how to be resourceful. If you like the idea of earning money from doing something that you love, like if you're like me, you've seen that picture of me online holding that stupid cushion. I just picked it up one day and my daughter took that happy snap of me holding that cushion. But the truth is, I am a cushion hugger. I love the whole space of renovating. I love homes. I love the befores and the afters. I can't get enough of them. And on my days off, I'll be reading home magazines. That's just how I'm wired, right? And if you're wired the same, then if you're going to a job that's not in this industry, you're probably never, ever going to feel fulfilled. So if you really love this stuff, I do really encourage you to investigate it further with me or with somebody else, but I just think you'll never be satisfied unless you've really tested and measured your capacity in this place. So it's for anyone who really wants to get in early on this as well. I have quite a few people that I've worked with to help them launch a consultancy business in the renovation space. It's a whole different level, guys, but basically you start here. You learn how to renovate, you hone your skills, you enjoy renovating, you recognize that you enjoy your renovating, and you only need a couple. Like, you don't need to be one of those people that's renovated at 15 homes. That's just a vanity metric. It doesn't really matter. You just need to be able to call plumbers and electricians and organize stuff and get your ducks in a row to run a good renovation. And then you can take those skills that you're learning all the time on the fly and put them to the marketplace and renovate for other people in other people's homes if that's what you want. It's particularly great to fill in the gaps, flipping for yourself, doing a couple of client projects. It's whatever you want to do. You can do a lot of design work and all that kind of stuff for clients too that doesn't even involve getting your hands dirty. So firstly, how do you get it going? Like, how do you actually get going from doing your own home and really loving the process and feeling confident when you're choosing stuff for yourself, right? It's easy to shop for your own stuff because you go, okay, I really like that lounge. You don't have to consider what your client might like or what another person might like. You can just do it for yourself. So how do you get from doing it yourself to the point where other people respect that you know what you know enough to really help them renovate their property? The first thing you do is start spreading the word about yourself. It's hard for us. A lot of us are pretty shy when it comes to putting our own selves out there in front of the world. But if you don't, you can't sell a secret. So the first thing you really do need to do is start going to those open for inspections, and talking to your real estate agents about what you can offer. He'll have someone in mind, he or she will have someone in mind that, he might have been able to offer you to them some time ago, or he'll keep you in mind for the future when he's talking to his vendors. So announce what you do. Be loud and proud. Don't be shy about it. Like, be proud about new ventures where, let it go what anybody's going to think about what you want to do in life. Just start putting the word out there. Hey, I do renovations. I'm pretty damn good at it. And now I'm at the point where I'd really like to help somebody else get started with theirs, or help somebody else with their renovation. So start hustling. Here's the big one, guys. Start before you feel ready. If we wait until we feel confident, until we feel like we've got it all together before we start telling people about it, oh my goodness, the opportunity lost in waiting until we feel ready is just extraordinary. I'm the big one for just going for it. Just go for it. Just have a crack. Have a crack is my favorite saying. Just get in there, start hustling, learn on the fly, lean on people who know you have them at your fingertips, people who know what they're doing, so you can reach out for the right answers immediately, but then you can go and do the work. Your clients don't necessarily need to know that you have a coach sitting in the background, or you have a whole community of people sitting in the background who are answering your questions. You're just doing the work for them. But to be supported, that's the key. So start before you feel ready, but lean on support where you've got the opportunity to do that. And begin with feeling very, very centered and grateful for all of the things you know you can do well. So start with leaning on all of those things. If you missed the video, guys, go and find the last video, part 1, where I talk about our capabilities and how sometimes we undervalue what we have got to bring to the market. So just lean on what you know you can do, like your organizational skills. Seriously, if you can get 3 kids off to school, a dog off to the vets, you can get people off to work, you can go to work yourself, you can come home, you can run your house. You have the capacity and the capability to run renovations. So lean on it. I don't like it when people feel like it's such a big deal, they'll never be able to do it. And once you get in your flow and you start, then confidence will follow. Again, start before you feel ready, start before you feel confident. And ignore being an introvert. If you're out there, if you want to start your business in the renovation space, whether you're an introvert, and I actually feel quite introverted a lot of the time, I'm actually not all that out there. I've had to learn just to get over it, to get over that feeling, and just, go and run my business and be serious about what I want, and just ignore how I feel and just go do stuff. So a lot of the people I work with them at a level so I can actually get them to do the same thing, and just ignore not feeling ready, and ignore worrying about what other people are going to think about them and their new business venture. Just ignore being an introvert and go do what you need to do. Get very clear on what it is that you're going to offer, particularly if you're going to renovate for somebody else or do a design for somebody else, and be really clear so that when you verbalize it, it comes easy. And then, it's game on. People will start to take you seriously. So the second C is credibility. So last week we talked about your capability, and today I'm just mentioned credibility. So it's not about even what you feel you can do, it's the way other people view you. It is the missing link between you saying, hey, I'd love to do a joint venture with you. Have you got a property? I'm great at renovating. Like, those people are going to go, oh, okay, you say you're great at renovating. I don't have any proof. Like, I don't feel you're great. Like, how do I believe that you're great? So that's what's going through their mind. It is a missing link, guys. is just seeding your credibility and taking your credibility into the marketplace. So it's a different thing saying, hey, let's go and do JVs and getting it off the ground. A lot of property educators out there will say, just go and do joint ventures like it's no big deal. But you know what? Sometimes it is a big deal. It's a big deal to get people to actually believe in you enough to hand you a property or cash. So it's a missing link. So how do we get our credibility seeded in the marketplace? So without it, people, they just say no very quickly. What will happen is they'll say, hey, I'd love you to do a renovation for me because you've done your own house and you did such a gorgeous job. But when it comes down to it, when it comes right down to saying, let's talk about money, or let's talk about buying a property together, or you go and find a property for me, people just back off real fast. So that means that you haven't cemented your credibility in their minds. They really don't believe that you can do what you say you can do. When it gets down to the money, people will say yes until it gets down to the money, and then they'll just, you know. It's very, very different getting them to follow through. Even if they say yes, it's different to, you know, to get it off the ground. So your success in renovating for other people or starting some kind of business around what you love to do depends on how you appear to people. It's how they view you. It's not about how you view yourself even. Like sometimes we've got to get over how we view ourselves and then take ourselves out there. And then we have to obviously get over the point where, you know, they may look at us and they've got question marks around us. Can you actually do it? So once you seed your credibility, once you get it, once you nail it, it allows you to charge higher fees. It allows you to negotiate profit share. It allows you to say, okay, I'm going to quote as much as $200 an hour in doing what I can do for you. Like, it allows you to charge the money that you're worth. It attracts the right kind of client to you that's happy to pay that kind of money. So it takes you from here, this level of hustling around saying, hey, let me work with you on a renovation project. It takes you from here right up to there, where all of a sudden you're the boss, you're in charge, you're working with the right people. They believe in you. They're not worried about handing you a property and the responsibility of it. And they're also not worried about paying you the fees that you deserve. So you get your personal brand to do the heavy lifting. So it's all about building brand. Whether we like it or not, guys, we have a personal brand. If you're on Facebook, you have a personal brand. You actually do, whether you like it or not. And you might not even think about it that way, but you do. You have a personal brand. This kind of stuff, me having my photograph taken with Shayna or Wendy Moore, or writing articles and being featured in Bunnings magazine or Property Investor magazine, writing a story about me. It's not that I love it. I am an introvert. This kills me. I'm 57 years of age. I am not a beautiful young 20-something-year-old Instagrammer. This kills me, but I've made myself do it. It's all about stretching my comfort zone, because the end goal is that I now have a very successful business, right? I've done it bit by bit. I've hustled my way. I've written blogs for On the House. I've been featured in Bunnings magazine. I've been interviewed time after time. Sky News, I've appeared on TV 3 times. So, you know, it's all about letting it go. Let it go. Stop worrying about people, what they think. Stop worrying if I feel like I'm 3 kilograms overweight. Just dress for the occasion and turn up and do my best. Like, honestly, it has freed me. And one of the things that I like doing the most is taking what I've learnt and helping other people move through it too. Because when you build a brand like this, I'm telling you now, no one ever questions what I'm charging, and people come to me with really big projects and say, hey, can you help design this, or can you help us work on this project? And now I can network with other people, and some I'll say yes to and others I'll say no, but I've got a perfect person in mind for you. So it's all about getting started, just getting started and pushing the boundaries of where you're comfortable, getting that credibility established so no one questions you. I'm telling you, it just is a game changer. And then clients start to contact you. For example, Marcello contacted me and said, hey, Belinda, can you help me renovate my unit in Bondi? he was open to paying significant amounts. And I actually gave this to one of my students. I said, hey, I've got a great job for you. Go work with Marcello. And super, super, super pleased that Philippa just did the renovation with and for Marcello on the agreement that they had, that worked together on the project. It's beautiful. It turned out wonderfully well. He got more than he ever anticipated for the property when it came to selling. And, happy days. It's fabulous when I feel like so blessed when I can move people from being worried about getting a start to getting work like this and earning the income that they deserve from it. So sometimes we lean a lot on like, what's our why? So I like to take it further than that. I think what's our why is not enough. What's our why is not enough to really make us committed to doing things, or some things that make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, so that the outcome we desire is at our fingertips. And I think it's more about your who, like who it's for. Maybe it's because I'm a lady and I will always put people in front of me, my kids, my husband. Like, I'm so used to that. That's in our DNA for most of us, right? So it's easier to turn it, or it was for me, into my head, like, okay, who am I doing this for? Not why, but who. Like, who would this really make a significant impact? Whose life will this change? Once you've got the capability, right, you guys have it. You can lean on the skills that you bring to the table, the skills that your everyday jobs have taught you, the skills that life has taught you, and then naturally your talents. You might be good at facts and figures, or you might be really good at the artistic side or the design side. You've got things that you really like. You might be really good at shopping, finding tiles. That's fantastic, right? But if you have the capability, then it's time to flick that and say, okay, now I need to develop some credibility so that I can go and do this for clients, for other people, in joint ventures, for other property owners. So I think what happens out there in the marketplace is you see people flipping homes for other people, and they've got this business up and going, and you forget about the steps that they've taken, the foundational bricks that they've laid to go from having a love of renovating to the point where someone is going to profit share or pay $200 an hour for your services. So it's very, very easy to skip those steps in your mind. But when you look at someone like Kelly and my other renovation coaches, that's exactly what they've done. They've built their foundations bit by bit, and they've lent on the experience of others all the way along the line. They've been coached through it. And that's what you don't see as well, is that they've actually worked with other people to get them there. All right, guys. So follow along as usual in the Mums and Dads Renovators and Decorators group. Jump on YouTube and find Renovate and Real Estate and click subscribe so that you don't miss any of these videos if you miss these Tuesday lives. Connect with me if you want to take your life to the next level. If you feel like you're kind of fossicking around the edges and you're gathering all this information but actually not launching into a business, doing interior courses and doing even renovation courses and doing property courses and learning about tiles and fixtures and fittings and spending all day on Instagram is playing around the edges. If you want to quit your job and you want this to become a full-time gig, then you're going to have to make some serious steps towards it. But what I'd hate you to do is get exhausted playing around the edges, just trying to figure it out yourself. You'll run out of steam before you get it off the ground. So let's go together. You've got my support if you wanted to call me and book a spot. Also, awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I'll see you next week.